Did you think that was the end of the story? As there is no beginning, there are no ends. For this story, I want you to come back with me to when our storyteller, Ronan, was a child, just a little boy. He was so creative. He always said the most amazing things to people. And yes, I can give you an example. In a report he did for school, he said, my fire-breathing mom. He liked to use amazing words, and he liked to spin the tales that would just make everyone around him happy. And he loved dragons. He absolutely loved dragons. They were amazing to him. But we're not going to be talking about Ronan. We're going to be talking about Ronan's baby sister. A lot of people have mixed feelings about baby siblings. They're spoiled, they get more attention than everyone else type thing going on. But we're going to be talking about the other side of that. A little bit controversial, I guess. That's cool. You don't mind, right? We're going to be talking about the fact that girls tend to be treated differently than boys. No matter what their wishes are. And how Ronan's little sister was very good at overcoming that. You see, she loved dragons just as much as her brother. And she wanted so badly to have dragons. Just like her brother. He was always getting a ton of dragons for birthdays and Christmases, and he was constantly drawing them and telling stories about them, and she wanted this as well. She wanted dragons in her life. His little girl's name, Ronan's little sister, is Hillary. Now, I'm gonna have to say it because this is a regular thing. This name does not solely belong to one person, okay? In fact, Hillary was named after her mother's cousin. Her mom was very fond of her cousin. In fact, her cousin had saved her life. And so her mom had decided to name her after her cousin. And in fact, even this woman who was in her late 30s was given a hard time about her name and how could your parent name you that. Hillary is a beautiful name. Let's put our feelings on other people's behaviors who have that name aside, shall we? It's okay. It's okay to have a name that another person may have that may or may not have a bad reputation. So this beautiful girl, Hillary, she wanted so much to have dragons just like her brother. And so, when her mom asked her, what would you like for your birthday? Your grandma wants to know, so I'm kind of doing the go-between. What would you like? Yeah. She was a little girl. Her mom just happened to talk to her children like they're people instead of, things. And Hillary, of course, told her mom, I'm sure you guessed, I want a dragon. I want a dragon just like Ronan's. And so, of course, her mom told her grandma, Hillary's grandma, exactly what she wanted. Now, little girls are, in this society of my story, little girls are treated in a different way than little boys from the beginning. Little girls are put in pink and little boys are put in blue. Little girls wear dresses and little boys are not allowed to wear dresses. They wear pants. But Hillary was fortunate enough to have a mom who absolutely didn't give a flying screwball what anyone else thought. You do you, damn it. And so if her little boys wanted to wear dresses, by God, they were allowed to wear dresses. And she would encourage people, look, he really likes this. Take him out and see if he can find one that he thinks is pretty. It's what he wants. And he's just a child. And even if he's not, damn it, there are some amazingly hot guys out there who dress like little girls. Okay, not little girls. Who dress like women and are just stunning. So let's get over that. Unfortunately, though Hillary's mom felt this way, and she encouraged all of her children to do these things. In fact, she was the one who bought Hillary's oldest brothers baby dolls when they were children so that they could have them. You know, if they wanted to. But we're not talking about that, are we? We're talking about Hillary. Unfortunately, that's where I was. Unfortunately, that is not the viewpoint that most other people have, including Grandma and other people in their lives. And so Hillary was often given what would be considered girl toys, and she loved them. It's not that she hated them. And her brother Ronan was always given boy toys, what would be considered boy toys, except by Mom. Mom was the only one who would get and give what would be considered the wrong gender toy for them because they expressed interest. So, dragons were considered, I don't know, as far as I see it, wouldn't you think it's more like a borderline, not quite masculine or feminine at this point? They were being marketed for little boys, these toys were. But not necessarily would they only be something that you would only give a boy. A little girl would love this. Now, these toys were amazing. You push the button on the bottom of the tail, and the dragon would roar this amazing roar, and his eyes would light up, and he would stomp across the floor, and his neck would move, and his mouth opened. Just amazing toys. Her brother Ronan had 2 of them. He loved this toy so much he had 2 of them. They were both red, and he named the first one Chamber, and he named the second one Trap. I did say he was creative, didn't I? And so, Hillary's mom told Grandma what Hillary wanted. And of course, Grandma's going to get them mostly what they want. And so she got what she wanted. She got this beautiful blue electronical dragon that roared and stomped across the floor. It looked just like her brother's, but it was this amazing blue, and she loved it. She loved it. And now she could play with her brother. Because even though he had 2, one day, she was playing with her dragon. And she was so sad because she was alone. Everyone else was busy doing other stuff. So Hillary was alone playing with her dragon, which she had named, Aqualina. She had named this dragon Aqualina. And she was playing with this dragon alone. A little bit sad because she was so alone. Sighing deeply, playing with their toy, when she heard a voice. "What's wrong, Hillary?" Seagull on the car. "What's wrong, Hillary?" She was startled. And she looked around the room to see if anyone was there. Maybe her mom had walked in. No, her mom wasn't there. No one else was there. Who had said that? And so she came to the conclusion, of course, that she must have been imagining it. Even as a child, I must say, even as a child, you have imaginary friends. I don't know if you've ever had an imaginary friend. I had imaginary friends. Hell, I still have imaginary friends. But, you know, whatever. It's all good. We're not going to judge, right? We're not going to judge, right? And Hillary was no exception. But she heard this voice very distinctly. It was there, it was present, it was audible for her ears. Yeah, that's good, that's good. And so, when you speak to your imaginary friend and your imaginary friend speaks back to you, it's not quite the same. This was an audible voice that she very, very much so heard with her ears, so. But she came to the conclusion she must have been hearing things, and so she sighed deeply. And went back to her musings, thinking about all of the things she could be doing with her brother Ronan, if he had just been willing to play with her at that moment. Brothers sometimes. I must say, though, they did play quite well together. would go to amazing places. They went on amazing journeys, and they did amazing things in their plethora of creative worlds that they made. So, but at this moment, her brother was not willing to do that, so she was lonely. And she heard the voice again. What's wrong? What's wrong, Hillary? I'm here. I'm here with you, and we're playing. We can have fun. And she jumped up. Of course, I mean, at this point, if you hear this voice multiple times speaking to you in such a clear tone, you might freak out. I mean, as an adult, most people are going to freak out or think they're imagining it, but Hillary knew for a fact. She's like, okay, I'm definitely not tripping out. There's definitely a voice going on here, okay? And so she started looking around again. And she was a little bit confused because there was still no one there. And she heard the voice again. I'm right here. I'm right here with you, Hillary. Let's play. Let's have fun. We don't need someone else to come and play with us. We can have fun. And she realized at that point, of course, what you guys have probably already figured out, that it was Aqualina. Aqualina was speaking to her. Now, when you name a thing, you give it presence, you give it life, and you give it substance, and you give it power. And she had named this toy, and this toy had already decided for this simple thing, for this name that it had been given, that she had loved it so much that she had given it a name. And Aqualina was very happy with her name and decided that she absolutely loved this little girl. And so she would not let this little girl sit here in sorrow by herself. She would go ahead and speak up and give Hillary companionship, which she already thought she had been giving her, but Hillary was so sad with this, and so she would let Hillary know. Hillary, of course, was stunned, as you can imagine. We would all be stunned at this point, I think, maybe. I think a couple of us might be able to take it in stride. Oh, the toy is talking to me. Cool. How you doing? I'm fine. Yeah, let's hang out. Let's do this. Let's rock this. I'm going to go ahead and take a pause now. Alright, sorry about that. Had to eat my yellow demon. Don't know about you guys, but I absolutely hate bananas. Anyways, back to the story. Where was I? Aqualina had offered companionship to Hillary. And Hillary was very excited after her initial shock. I mean, wouldn't we all be shocked, right? Hillary became very excited. Of course, she would love to spend time with Aqualina in this way. And so she told her so, yes. Aqualina was very excited about this as well. And she suggested that they go to her world. Come on, Hillary, I'll take you to my world, and you can climb on my back and we'll fly through the sky. How exciting. Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't want to do that? But Hillary, seeing how small Aqualina was worried that she would crush her and break her wings, which were amazing to Hillary, but which did not look strong enough to lift her up into the sky. Yeah. Aqualina said, "Don't worry about it, just watch." And she put her little claws up like this, and she roared, and the world began to change around Hillary. Shh. Don't interrupt. The world began to change, and her room became... Once again, I'm in this moment where I wish I had some percentile dice with me so that I could roll out and see where that they were. Anyways, her room disappeared. Okay. The dragon was blue, and its name was Aqualina, so I'm going to put him on the coast, alright? So there they were, on the coast. It was very rocky, and there were a lot of really annoying seagulls. And, rocks and logs and the waves coming up with this amazing blue. The sound of roaring water and the birds diving far off into the ocean to catch fish. And there they were on the beach. I don't think I can swap the camera around for you to see, so just gonna have to deal with it. I'll figure it out later. That's fine, this is good stuff. You're like, but I want to see. Clearly, I want to see. Yeah, I don't see any button. It's like, you can flip that around now while you're recording. Nope, not there. Maybe I'll, like, put a, I don't know, whatever. Moving on. There they were on the coast. All kinds of birds, all kinds of beautiful sun. Oh, excuse me. The sun was bright. The dogs were barking. This is what happens when you leave your house to do stuff like this. And the noisy, annoying seagulls and dogs, and how dare they, right? Back to the story. And something else amazing began to happen. The little plastic dragon, which actually wasn't little, it was like 15 inches tall. I mean, not little at all. I've got my hand up here. You don't see my hand down here. It was like 15 inches tall. No joke. Big dragon. For a toy. The plastic looked less and less like plastic and looked more and more like flesh and skin with scales like you would expect it to look, with a beautiful sheen that became this metallic, amazing color as the sun hit it and reflected off of it. Okay? Now I know what you're thinking. Aqualina, you're at the ocean. Blue dragon, her name is Aqua. She must be a swimming dragon now. She's really not. She could swim, I'm sure, but wings to fly in the sky. And that's what she's going to do. She was going to take Hillary and fly in the sky, and she started becoming more and more beautiful. Her teeth, instead of these little plastic nubs, started to look like these glistening, sharp predator teeth. And yeah, I know, scary, right? Smoke began to curl from her nostrils, and just, you know, all that awesome stuff started to happen. But Hillary was still like a little bit worried because she wasn't growing or anything. She was still this small dragon. So Aqualina said, "Climb on my back, climb on my back, and we shall fly over the oceans, and we shall fly wherever you want to go." Sorry. Of course, Hillary was concerned about this, and she voiced her concern to Aqualina. Aqualina, if I get on your back, I'm going to crush you. By the way, you're beautiful. That metallic sheen with that blues and grays I'm imagining there. Yeah. And Aqualina told her, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Just climb on my back. Hillary was still very hesitant because she did like Aqualina quite a bit and she cared for her a lot. But she didn't want to let Aqualina down. And she very much did want to fly in the sky with Aqualina. So she began to gingerly get a little bit on the backside of Aqualina, trying not to crush her tail, not really sitting down or anything, and all of a sudden she felt a massive bump onto her rump as Aqualina appeared to be getting bigger, and she had thrust her back end up to make sure that Hillary was on there solidly. Wow. Big girl on a little dragon. That's what you're imagining. However, that's not, it seemed that way at first. But then something strange happened, like I said. Aqualina appeared to be growing. But in actuality, it took Hillary a moment to realize that Aqualina was not growing. She was shrinking. She was becoming smaller and smaller to fit the perfect size on Aqualina's back. And when she was, of course she freaked out. I think we all would. She did. She freaked out for a moment. Totally screamed. Aqualina assured her, it's okay. Don't freak out. You're going to be okay. I am going to take care of you. You are my Hillary, and I'm your Aqualina, and I'm going to take care of you. And so Hillary was able to calm down. She was on the dragon, and she held on to the base of the wings like this, and her legs were underneath on the back above the hips of Aqualina. And Aqualina spread her wings wide and started flapping. At first very gently, so that she wouldn't knock Hillary off, so that Hillary could get used to the motion of her wings. And so she's flapping her wings, and all of a sudden, whoosh, really hard, she just swung them, whoosh, and up into the air she went. The most amazing, exhilarating feeling filled Hillary's heart and Aqualina's heart as they flew up into the air with complete joy filling them. Joy and love as the sun beat down on the beautiful blue that just seemed to be everywhere. Aqualina went ahead and flew over the oceans. They watched the crests that beat on the beach disappear as they passed and went deeper. Deeper? That works, right? Deeper into the ocean. And I don't mean like into the ocean, but like above, that way. You understand what I'm saying, right? Like this. They were above it. Farther past the edge of the ocean. That works. We'll go with that. They flew farther and farther past the edge of the ocean. They watched the rocks disappear, and they watched the crests of the waves that pounded on the beach just fade away until there was just this amazingly smooth, almost glassy. As high up as they were, it looked glassy. This blue with amazing sun white just reflecting off everywhere. And the sky, of course, was an amazing blue as well. I guess we can't discount that. Just blue everywhere. Too much blue? Nah. Aqualina was blue. The ocean was blue. The sky was blue. It's all good. No clouds, you say? No, there were clouds. Beautiful, big, puffy clouds. A massive, just, you know, the ones that look kind of like cotton candy. Yeah. So they flew over the ocean, and Aqualina said to Hillary, "Where would you like to go? Where should we go? We could go anywhere. Where would you like to go?" Yeah, you ask a child such a question. Let me tell you, Ronan was not the only creative one in this family. Hillary was also very creative. Yeah. You want to know? So what I'm hearing, you want to know where the... Okay, I'll tell you where that she asked to go. She said she wanted to go to the Scorpion Nebula. That's what she said. I'm telling you. She wanted to go to the Scorpion Nebula. Aqualina had no idea where this was, of course. Being a dragon, I guess maybe dragons do know. Dragons are intelligent creatures, usually ancient, but Aqualina was definitely not an ancient dragon. She was a very young dragon, so she did not know where the Scorpion Nebula... I said Scorpion, right? Scorpion Nebula was. Nebula. Blah. But she was gonna find it. She would not let Hillary down. And so she began to fly up. And up and up. And it became colder and colder. And Hillary shivered. And she was worried. She's like, maybe it's a bad idea, Aqualina. Maybe we should go somewhere else. Maybe we should not go into outer space. Maybe this was a bad idea. And Aqualina assured her, do not worry, Hillary. I will not let anything harm you. You are going to be fine, and we are going to the Scorpion Nebula. And they did. They kept going up. And though I've never been up that high in the atmosphere, from what I've heard, it's not just like, here's the atmosphere and here's space and that's the end. You hit a point where it's just like passing through a bubble. Poop! No more oxygen or environmental warmth or whatever you want to call it. Now you're dead. No, it's not like that. From what I've heard, it just kind of thins out as you go up. Never been there, but that's what we're going to go with for this story. It got thinner and thinner and thinner. And Hillary began to shiver and become cold. And Aqualina did become concerned a little bit, but she knew that she could keep Hillary safe. And so she breathed deep. And she brought forth the energies that she knew she had as a magical being to create this protective barrier between Hillary and her and everything else. Whoosh. And she went ahead and let her body warm up with the fires inside of her to warm Hillary back up. Oh, why didn't she do this before? She didn't think about it, honestly. Did you? Maybe you did. I did as well. But Aqualina didn't, because she's a young dragon, okay? So it takes her some time. She's learning, though. Give her a break, okay? Aqualina's got this. She's going to take good care of Hillary. Okay. So she created a barrier between Hillary and herself and everything else that would contain anything that Hillary or herself needed to keep them safe and whole on their journey to the Scorpion Nebula. And finally, they were completely away from the atmosphere of the planet. And they both stopped. Aqualina stopped, and she said, "Let's look back." And they looked back, and they got to see the beauty of the planet from that high, high position way up above it. And it looked wretched. It was horrible. She hated it. No, I'm kidding. It was, of course, not. It was gorgeous. All kinds of bright colors and whatnot. Good stuff. Anyways, so they took a moment to appreciate the planet they had been on. What planet was this? I'm not telling you. It's none of your business. It's Aqualina's planet, okay? She said so. That's all you need to know. Was it mostly covered in water? Is that what you want to know? Once again, I wish I had my dice. I do not. So, yes. Yes, it was mostly covered in water. In fact, it had more water than our planet. Lots of water. Okay, moving on. Beautiful, beautiful planet. So, they continued on their journey into space. Now, we hear, maybe, I don't know how many Nova videos you watch or whatever, but I watch quite a few, so space is not empty anyways. I wouldn't imagine that it would be, and who would want to imagine that it is? There are many, many things in space. There's dust, there's light rays, which apparently you can use like you use wind with a parachute to, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. I've just watched a lot of Nova videos, okay? Alright. Clearly. Moving on. Anyways, lots of debris up in space. So, they did have the barrier, though, so they were fine. Where am I going with this? Shh. I'll tell you soon enough, okay? Alright. Just gonna scratch my ear a minute. Where was I? Ah, yes. So there they are in space. And space is not empty by any stretch of the imagination. And now they are heading to the Scorpion Nebula. And, as you can imagine, such a journey would take a very, very long time. This would not be a short journey. It's not going to be like, poof. Now imagine that an older dragon could just teleport to the Scorpion Nebula and call it a day. However, as I said, Aqualina was very young. And she was not very skilled with that kind of magic yet. So, also, she didn't spend a lot of time around other dragons. She hadn't. So she wasn't aware what she could do. And it's probably a good thing, because if she tried to teleport them there, that could have been bad. I'm just saying, Hillary, you should be grateful that Aqualina didn't know that she was capable of doing that. Ah, fire truck. Yeah. Could right into the middle of the sun. And done. Unless, there are theories that I've heard, well, it's been years. I don't know if it's still a theory or if that they've debunked it or decided that it's not a thing, but that the inside of a sun is not actually hot. I don't know. Suns are hot, though. I wouldn't want to be in one. Comment down below. Anyways. Oh yes, that's where I was. They're getting ready to, they're on their journey now. That's right, through space. And it is something that would take a long time. And I've already said this, so I'm going to move on. So they did pass many planets and many asteroids and many beautiful, beautiful things that we cannot even contemplate. Any Doctor Who fans out there would appreciate that there were space whales. Just saying, space whales are a thing. Just accept it. Space whales exist. I believe in the space whales. Okay, moving on. Many amazing things that Hillary could not have contemplated would have been out there. She saw, and they had an amazing journey. Did lots of great things. Now, years and years, right, on this journey. Space whales and giant squids, things that was a really bad episode of Star Trek. I'm gonna move on from that sci-fi thing and back to the journey to the Scorpion Nebula, because we all want to get to the Scorpion Nebula. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of the time it would take and how much that they would have done, and how many adventures and how many different cultures and creatures and spaceships, because you know that, I'm sorry, they're not going to pass by a planet that's inhabited by, I don't know, two-headed creatures and not stop and say hi. We're stopping. We're stopping to see that. Wouldn't you? I'm going to stop to see that. I don't imagine them not stopping. And as they went on their journey, of course, Hillary grew older, and also Aqualina grew older and bigger. And as Aqualina grew, Hillary grew as well. And they both learned very much and became very knowledgeable people. Knowledge of the cosmos that they passed through, the cultures that they got to spend time with. They learned how different anatomies worked from scientists on those planets. They learned how all kinds of different things worked. They learned what people thought of space, and they learned that some cultures were not even there yet. So, and some cultures had it right and some cultures had it wrong. And they learned that too, because, you know, they were actually going through it. So they kind of knew a little bit more about what was actually out there than a lot of scientists. Woohoo! Learning the hard way. Finally, though, all this said and done, you could spend a lifetime telling the stories of the adventures that Hillary and Aqualina went on, honestly, through this time, and this massive, massive amount of time as well, because, you know, according to scientists, the further you would get away from the planet, the more time speeds up here or something. I don't know. Something, it's like... Anyways, so, and maybe I will tell those later, that'd be awesome. But for now, we're going to the Scorpion Nebula. We're going to get there now. They finally saw the Scorpion Nebula, which, honestly, Hillary at this point was kind of disappointed because it didn't look like a scorpion at all. And of course it's not gonna. Why would it? It's just a name that it was given from a planet where that you viewed it from that planet and it looked like a scorpion from that angle. But as soon as you moved to a different angle, or closer or further away, where that you could see the depth of things and stuff, it's no longer going to look like that. But she was still kind of disappointed because, you know, the idea of being able to see it looking like a scorpion was really exciting to her. So, but she was not disappointed for long, because as the clouds of the nebula began to pass her and she could see the different amazing colors, and with all her knowledge, she knew now, with all her experience and her age and her wisdom and her cosmic knowledge, she knew what the clouds were made of, and she could understand how they worked. Oh yeah, that's awesome. She just became a scientist. Very learned. So she knew these things, and she knew kind of how it all worked. And both Aqualina and her, with all of their amazing knowledge, they saw in the depths of the nebula the creation of a star going on at that point, and they were both very excited to see the swirling movement of the different elements and the brilliant colors and light and just vibrant amazingness of creation. This right here was an amazing step of the creation of a universe or solar system or galaxy. I mean, maybe that star never leaves the nebula. Maybe it'll be there forever. Who knows? But still, an amazing step. Once again, like I said, no beginning, no end. So this has been going on for a long time, and it will be going on forever. Yep. Okay. So they watched it. They watched the creation of this nebula and the explosive nature of all that was around them in this nebula. Very exciting. You know how in Star Wars, I know, Star Wars again, you fly through the nebula and it's really kind of boring a lot of the times. It's just like a bunch of wispy clouds that have been CGI'd onto the, onto the computer. This was very different. It was like you could see like the different molecules and particles and all that good stuff. No dark matter though, not with the naked eye. Anyways, amazingness that she got to see with Aqualina. And they just were in awe. Now, as you can imagine, Hillary was an adult by this time. And so was Aqualina. They had both grown. And they had both become very learned and very wise and very what? Enlightened. Very enlightened by all things around them. But, as they say, and I don't typically say this, but I'm going to say it just so that I can say that's not how that happened. All things must come to an end. Why? Why must all things come to an end? I disagree with that statement completely. Hillary and Aqualina are there now, in the Scorpion Nebula, watching that star being born, watching other stars being born, teaching what they have learned to other civilizations to help them advance and become amazing. Hillary and Aqualina are right now flying through the cosmos, having amazing adventures. Amazing, amazing adventures. Endlessly. Why? Because I can. And so can they. But for the sake of this story, of course, how does this story end? Would she ever go back home? I'm sure that's the question on a lot of people's minds. Would you ever go back home in that kind of situation? Where that you were there and you had that much knowledge of the cosmos and you saw that much. Would you ever come back? And so Hillary heard a voice. Hillary, get up, it's time for lunch. We're going to go this route. You're just going to accept it. And know that Hillary and Aqualina are always and forever going to be out in the cosmos. Because, yes, Hillary opened her eyes and she rubbed the sleep out of her eyes. And Aqualina lay right in front of her face with its eyes looking right at her. And she was for a moment sad. It had all been a dream. And Aqualina was once again just this plastic dragon who was still amazing to Hillary. And she loved this dragon even more for it. And so she got up and she went to have lunch. I know, pretty simple, right? I feel like both can be true. I don't see any reason why not. Why not? Hillary can continue to live in this world that she's in, where that she is growing and learning and experiencing here, and she gets to make amazing worlds with her brother. And she can also be out there with Aqualina, flying through the cosmos forever. Oh yeah. Works for me. I don't know about you guys, but that's the way it's going for me. She's out there now. I believe in her. She's out there. I believe in them. They're out there and they are teaching the world. They're teaching the cosmos all of this amazing stuff. Spreading their wings wide. Forever moving forward. Okay, I think that's good for today. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the story, and alright, I'm gonna go now.